Welcome to my secret project entry into Summer Swap this year. What I mean by that is I ran Summer Swap last year, running it this year. Had no intentions on participating, especially because I am starting to get way backed up on commissions right now and didn't want to have it bleed into Secret Santa this year. However, we had several of the usual participants, for one reason or the other, couldn't enter this year. So the head count wasn't quite where I had hoped it would be. So we were at 12 last year, and then this year it was only 10, so I would make 11. So basically nobody knows I'm participating. So I got a really awesome list, and obviously running it I know who I got, right? Just simple distribution of list wise, but I try to keep that out of my mind and do something that was meaningful, something that I've actually wanted to do, kind of one of those bucket list figures, right? So this is going to be Red Sonja. I've got everything kind of prepped already, so I actually did a little bit of pre-work on this, but I had an extra Angela figure, so I basically took the hair off of that one and actually made a mold and casted the rogue face that came in the 2-pack. I forget who she came with, but anyway, I like the expression. Most of the Marvel figures with Hasbro just kind of have that blank, stone-faced expression. I noticed they're recently starting to kind of branch out into having different expressions. So really like this one, made a mold of it, and then I'm going to pop the hair back on and put it back on my robe. But anyway, this one came out pretty good. A lot of the casts actually weren't. There's kind of a couple flaws in the mold, but this one actually turned out really well, so I am going to go with it. Got a couple different weapon options. I think this was a sword from Aragorn. I don't know the difference, but a couple of sheaths there, different sword types. Actually, the sword that came with Angela might be a decent choice as well. I'd like to kind of alter a little bit. It looks like they all have kind of like those Celtic runes on them, symbols, stuff like that, so not going to be too big of a deal, but I have one of those Molotov pins that does chrome, so I might try to use that on this as far as the metallic parts go. We'll see. I've yet to use it. I've had it for over a year now, but couple of accessories that I may or may not use. Once again, the armor in her legs. I've seen several different pictures with it looking different, so if I were to throw these on, it would just be a time saver, really. I may end up ultimately just sculpting, once again, those armor guards with like the runes on them. So took the hands from the Angela figure as well, mainly because this one actually, the articulation actually goes up and down, so it kind of gives more weapon options than your typical just left and right with your usual hands that you get. So I thought that was pretty cool. Moving on to the boots, these are from the Squirrel Girl figure, which I actually ended up just getting in a fodder lot. Somebody had just used her arms, so basically all the other pieces were left, and these I just don't think could be any more perfect for Red Sonja. Some of the pictures I've seen, she has kind of the fur around the boots, some she doesn't, but this one's getting furry boots, all right? So they are great in battle and great to wear to the mall. So what I had to do is I actually used the Jocasta figure, which I personally feel, what I've said before, the more athletic structure for the women I really like. Especially Jocasta's got a booty on her here. And I had to basically carve out and sand down some of the details that came with that, but got her back to basics. I've already done a little prep work. As you can see, the joints have all been prepped. The peg holes have all been sculpted over, and then I gave her abs, and hoping I didn't sculpt the breasts too big. Said no man ever, right? If they are, I can sand them down a bit, because once I actually sculpt the armor on there, they may actually look ridiculously huge. So it's not what I was going for, just kind of how it ended up. But maybe one of those Freudian slips, right? That I meant to make them small, but they're like triple E's now. So is that a thing? I don't know, but Anyway, wanted to give her really, even though this figure kind of has that more athletic structure to it, I really wanted to give her, you know, a nice set of abs there as well. So I actually went through and broke out the existing legs and then kind of resculpted them mainly so I could Dremel out the hip joint. Got these loosened up a little bit. Historically, these arms like to break, so I've got them where they're nice and loose and they actually move pretty freely. So I'm excited about that. The only thing I am nervous about here is this. Even though I've Dremeled all this out, it's still tight where the forearm meets the upper arm and the bicep here. So I may, once I prime it, have to see if that's rubbing too bad, and if so, I'm going to have to Dremel some more out there, but didn't want to do too much, didn't want it to look funky, but at the same time too, paint scraping looks more funky than, you know, gaps. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get her primed, start doing some shading with the airbrush, basically get the body completely painted, and then I'll sculpt the rest of it on, mainly because she's not wearing much at all, so I really think it's going to be beneficial to do the flesh tones first, and then we'll sculpt the rest on. But I'm excited about how this all looks coming together. I've had the boots on for, obviously, had to get the pegs fitted and everything, but once I get this done, I'm going to have to actually sculpt in a little bit more hair, as you can see there, even kind of pulling this back. There leaves some gaps, but I know a guy who can do that, so we are going to be rocking and rolling on Red Sonja here. Hopefully she only takes about a month or so. It is actually April 1st today. No fooling. So I prep work and commissions, was hoping to get a jump on her earlier, but I do think she will go pretty quick. So this won't be as epic of a series as my Secret Santa videos, even though normally I would like to do that, but once again, just getting way backed up with work. So you will get the gist of this, and at the end, hopefully have a really awesome Red Sonja figure.